Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Tyler, for the comment letting me know that this sound didn't work on the last one. Not sure why it wasn't coming through, but all that means is we get to do this all over again. So, today's lesson is going to be very, very, very much a review of what you've already done. It does say using shortcuts, okay, but I've kind of already been showing you the shortcuts throughout the lessons already, just because we've had to condense some things. So this is going to be more like an extra practice for you guys from what you did last week. I'm hoping it's okay. The only thing that will be new, which won't come up until Wednesday, is the square root questions, but we'll review that today. I'll just jump right into it. It's going to be a quick lesson, and then hopefully you guys can just get on with the work and it isn't too bad for today. So, for this first question, we have x plus 7 equals 10. By now, everyone should know that the plus 7 will pick up and go to the other side and become a minus 7, which will equal 3. Okay. On the next one, we have 2m equals 24. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So m has to be 12. On the next one, the opposite of subtraction is addition. So we'll have a will be equal to 3 plus 4, which is 7. And the last one, the opposite of division, is multiplication. So we'll have m will be equal to negative 4 times negative 3, which is positive 12. And there we go. So hopefully that is a good review. Now you guys already know that adding is the opposite of subtracting, and that multiplying is the opposite of dividing. But this next question, where the square and square roots, those would come into questions that would look like this. X squared, let's say, equals 9. Now, we know that the squared sign means something times by itself twice, right? So 2 squared is just 2 times itself. Okay, so when we have x squared equals 9, the way to actually solve this is we use something called a square root sign. That looks like this. And if we square root both sides, okay, we get the solution for x. Now the square root is what times itself will equal that number. So I know x times itself equals x squared, but what number times itself equals 9? We know that would have to be 3, and then we would get our answer. Just like if we had x squared equaled 36, you would square root both sides and go, what number times itself equals 36? And we would get, 6. Okay, so we haven't done questions like these, and they're not going to come up today, but they might come up on Wednesday. So just thought I'd review that now. All right, so these next two parts is just practice. So it would be great if you would just pause and give it a shot on your own. I'm going to go a little bit quicker than normal because nothing here is new. Okay, you guys have been really good at leaving me feedback from the Google Forms, which I've really appreciated. So I think me posting those solutions, I'm going to keep doing that for the homework. But please make sure, again, if you have any questions, you're just going to email me. But I'm just going to start going through these ones here. So we got 12 questions to go. The first one is x plus 5 is equal to 3. So we'll move the plus 5 to the other side. It will become x is equal to, we'll have 3. It was positive 5, so now it's going to become a negative 5. So x is going to equal negative 2. Okay, that makes sense because negative 2 plus 5 equals 3, so we know we did it right. The next one, we have 11 plus m equals negative 2. Now, when we move the 11 to the other side, it will become a negative. So we'll have negative 2 minus 11, or m equals negative 13. Okay. On the next one, we have 15 is equal to p plus 4. That plus 4 is going to come to the other side and become a 15 minus 4. And, that's terrible. and we'll get 11 is equal to P. All right, let's keep it going. Again, here we have -3. That goes to the other side and becomes a positive. So y will equal 24. Here we have -5. When that goes to the other side, it becomes a +5. And that equals 2. Now these are all called one-step equations because we should be able to get to our answer in one step. Here we have a -3. When that comes to the other side, it becomes a +3, leaving us with an answer of 14. Okay, now we're into the multiplication questions, and we have 2x equals 14. The opposite of multiplying is dividing, and we'll get x equals 7. Same thing here, we'll divide, so x will be equal to 36 divided by -3, which is -12. For I, we have, again, multiplication. The opposite of multiplying is dividing, so we'll have -24 divided by -6, which is equal to +4. And then we have the last ones, which are division. And we know the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So here, m is equal to 10 times 2, which is 20. For k, x will equal -15 times -3, which is 45. And for the last one, it's also division, just written a different way. Q is going to equal to -2 times 5, which is -10. Let me just fix this. That looks gross. All right. So all of those were done in one step because they're one-step equations. I went pretty quick. I'm hoping that made sense. But by now, this is now our third day, I think, of this. So we should be all okay there. These ones are a little bit trickier. These are our two-step equations. Okay, so we'll take 2 steps to do it. Always remember the process to do this is we do bed mass, but we go backwards. We start at addition, subtraction, and we move in the opposite direction. Okay, that's the process to move things to the other side. Again, the reason why is if I try to divide first, so here I try to divide by 3, then I have to divide everything by 3. So I'll have 19 divided by 3 and 2 divided by 3, which is decimal numbers. Okay, you'll still get the answer at the end, but it's a really not so nice way of getting it. So we're going to always move the addition and subtraction first, then the multiplication and division. And if we have brackets, which you're going to see on Wednesday, that would be the next step after that. Okay, so let's do a couple examples here. Again, I said the first thing you got to move is the addition and subtraction. So the -2 is going to move to the other side and become 19 plus 2. Now we have 3m equals 21. And from here, again, you can, if you would like, you can write a different line and write m equals 21 divided by 3. And then you could say m equals 7 from here. Or, if you'd like, another way, which is how I'm going to write it, okay, just so I don't waste paper, is right when I hit this step, I'm just going to divide both sides by 3. It just saves one line, but that adds up if you're doing a bunch of math work. You just get m equals 7. Okay, it's the exact same thing. I'm just not rewriting another line there. Okay, and there we go. This is how I'm going to do it in all the questions. The next one here, same thing. We have 2m plus 4 equals 22. Starting with that plus 4, we'll move that to the other side. Or 22 minus 4. So 2m has to be equal to 18. Now we can divide by that 2. And we'll get m is equal to 9. All right, again, 2 steps. Same thing here. We have to start by, moving this 1 to the other side. So we'll have negative 11 minus 1 equals negative 12y, or just negative 12 equals negative 12y. And now we get to divide by that negative 12. And we know that negative 12 divided by negative 12 is positive 1. And there we go. All right, 3 left. Now, we have m divided by negative 2 plus 3 equals 4. Again, always starting with the addition or subtraction. So the plus 3 is going to move to the other side and become 4 minus 3. Or m over negative 2 equals 1. Okay. Now from here we have a negative 2. That's being divided. The opposite of dividing is multiplying. So m equals 1 times negative 2, or just negative 2. All right. Now this one is one that people usually get stumped, and it's just because of the way it's written. 1 over 4x, okay, means the same thing as just x over 4. Okay. The numerator and the variable get multiplied together. So really that variable is on the top. We just write it on the side because it looks nicer. Okay? That's the only reason why we write 1 over 4x. This means the same thing as x over 4. Okay, those are identical statements, but this one looks a little bit nicer. And in terms of linear algebra, you guys just did equations of lines. It's very easy to identify the slope when we write it like that, because the slope is by itself, where when the x is in there, it's a little bit trickier. So just don't get confused by them putting the x on the side. This is what it means. X over 4 minus 7 equals 5. Okay, it's a regular question, and you're going to solve it just like you normally would. We're going to move the negative 7 over first, of x over 4 equals 5 plus 7, which is 12. Now the opposite of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. We get x equals 12 times 4, okay, which is 48. Okay, same process, just want to go over the notation it's written in, because these two things, again, are the same. Now we have decimals. Decimals aren't going to change anything. Starting with the subtraction, we'll move that to the other side, and we'll get 5 plus 1.2, which is 6.2. Now we have 3.1m equals 6.2, so we have to divide by 3.1. And lucky for us, 3.1 goes into 6.2 2 times, so m is equal to 2. And there we go. So there's all those ones. Again, it wasn't a big lesson today, mostly review. I didn't teach you guys anything new, but you can't have too much practice with linear equations or solving systems of equations, because this is a big skill, especially for next year, and I really want to make sure you guys all are pretty strong at this. So I thought it was worth an extra day. Again, please make sure you are doing the work. You're going to notice this week I'm going to post an assignment. Now you've just been doing Google Forms, but now I'm going to make sure you are attaching what you've been doing to those Google Forms, whether it be you're doing your math on like a Google Doc, which would be really hard, or if you're just doing it on paper, which I probably would recommend. If you could just take a picture of that and upload it, you're going to see I'm going to put something on the classroom where you can kind of show me what you've been doing. Again, it's not for marks. It's just so I can see what you are doing and try to maybe point out any mistakes if I see them on there. So that's a little bit new this week. If it's not going to be possible for you to take a picture or it's not working, just let me know. It's not the end of the world, but I would like to see what you're doing. So just make sure if you can attach a picture of your work, it would be very helpful. And I will do that at the right after this video. You'll see a post where you can do that. Anyways, if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. And I wish you guys have a great week. Take care. Bye.